This is the Hood Mystic, and you are now tapped into Mystic Math. Peace to the family. Hope everybody is doing well. Just making sure there's no medium here. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds, make sure there's no some weird Mercury retrograde stuff going on. It is doing it again. Okay, that's what it was. I seen what it was. Okay. Yeah, so Mystic Math will be on tap tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for that. Check out chuo.fm to listen to it live with me, or you can tune in to my Instagram. If you want a special surprise, I will be singing, so you might want to tune in tomorrow morning. I'm gonna be doing my little my best Omarion impression. So, you know, shout out to y'all and everybody that's out there, man. This show is going to be more centered on aesthetics, approach, and the most important thing. And I really want us to be clear on that, because when it comes to the most important things, we don't really pay attention to them. We pay attention to so many things in this world that I really want us to pinpoint and tap into the most important thing. And the reason why I say that is because we're dealing with a solar eclipse energy. And when you reference solar eclipse energy, it's something specific to it. It's powerful. It's about setting intentions. It's about welcoming in new energy. So if you into that, if you tired of the same old energy, if you tired of the same old thing, and you trying to establish a new, maybe new isn't the right word. Maybe there hasn't been a word created for what you're intending when you tap into the spiritual energy. So I want to give some tips, some tools, some tricks to tap into the solar eclipse energy and align it with the cosmology. So you're not confused, you're aware, and you're for real tapped in. I don't have a lot of notes. I don't have a lot of words right here. You know, I just have some specific instructions and some specific magic that we could tap into. So if you're ready to enjoy this presentation, you know, sit back, relax, get your favorite beverage, you know what I mean, your favorite smoking apparatus, your hookah, your blunts. If surfing in here, you got the Newports on deck, and you know we about to have a particular vibe in a higher frequency. So, what is a solar eclipse? A solar eclipse is when the sun and the moon are conjunct. Good morning, Grand Rising. It is the Hood Mystic. You're listening to the morning shift on CHUO 89.1 FM, your source for hip hop and R&B in the morning. Today is Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. You were just listening to Omarion featuring Wale with Mutual. You know what time it is. It is time for Mystic Math. And for those who don't know, Mystic Math is where we talk about the collective energy reading according to the phases of the moon. Now, as I like to always say, let's tap in. where the energy. This is a new moon week, but this new moon is quite different. This new moon is a solar eclipse, which is like a regular new moon. It's just 10 times more powerful. I personally feel that the easiest way to understand the solar eclipse is to understand a new moon, simply because you never get a solar eclipse without a new moon, the same way as you never get a lunar eclipse without a full moon. But what is a new moon? You're new to the channel, or you might be new. Yeah, there we go. I don't know where. Let me retract, because I see why that comes in. Nah, it disappeared. But it might come on from time to time. If it comes on, just let me know if it does come on, because for some reason it's in one of the files. So I'll wait till y'all catch up to me. It's a weird internet day. I've been watching a lot of live videos and a lot of live shows been having a lot of like technical difficulties and things of that nature. So let me backtrack, because y'all probably heard Mystic Math for the past couple of minutes. So what is a solar eclipse? A solar eclipse, in its most simplest terms, is a new moon, but a very powerful new moon, a very ancestral moon. It's like trying to put words into how it can transform and change your life is going to be hard. However, I can try my best, but it really requires you to understand who you are. And the only way that you're going to understand who you are is not through osmosis, not through just being yourself, right? A lot of these things that I'm saying are super contrary to popular belief, but please give me a second. Just because you're around yourself, because you wake up and you're yourself every single day, that does not mean that you know yourself. Meaning that to fully know yourself, you have to put an eye to yourself. But how many times does the eye reflect on the eye, or the mouth reflect on the mouth, or the nose reflect on the nose? Meaning that our senses are tools for the external world, and we're inundated in those tools and utilizing those tools that very rarely do we sit back and wonder who is the being that is utilizing the tool, right? So when you reference a solar eclipse, you're taking the time to bring your sun energy and your moon energy into one. And if you're able to bring your moon energy and your sun energy into one, this is the time that you get to learn yourself. See, the thing of it is that you have an intention of what you desire. But in your desires, in your utilizing of your tools, for a majority of your life, you're utilizing your tools, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes it's hard not to utilize your tools because they're so darn gone powerful. But when you get a chance, maybe a slight sliver of a second of a chance, a window in time, to just reflect on the tool user, the sense observer, the sense utilizer, well, you only get, huh? You sure? Let me see. I just heard the show.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I cut it off. Huh?
It was fine.
I don't know. Do y'all still hear Mystic Math? Let's see how it could be. I deleted the source. Let me get a thumbs up if y'all hear Mystic Math in the background. And shout out to Mystic Math. And of course, it's a delay. Okay. So once again, solar eclipses are annular events, celestial events that allow us to tune in to ourselves. In the Bible, there's a verse, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51 to 52. It says that we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. And when you reference that twinkling of an eye, that is not something that is happenstance. It's actually predictable, and it's actually a reference to the annular solar eclipse. Now, the reality of this happening is gonna happen, but the most important part is what you do during this time. I'm only going to reference a short example of the last, well, not the last because it happens every year, but 2017 there was a major solar eclipse to which in the North Hemisphere we were able to see it. Now, I was just doing my blog and things like that, but actually participating in the energy for the first time of the solar eclipse, where it was interesting. There was just me and my wife. We had 2 children at that time, not 4. And so I guess we had a babysitter or something, and we ended up going to the mounds. We went to the mounds for that solar eclipse. And the interesting thing is that we always go to that particular mound and never people were there. But particularly that day, there were a lot of people at the mounds that day. It was like a packed house. And that was very interesting to me because that must have been a thing. It must have been a connection that is what triggered me in my mind to think, well, maybe I am onto something as far as a thought space. Because at that time, I was just going to the mounds for enjoyment. But then going there for the solar eclipse and seeing all of those people there as we all peered into the solar eclipse and had our cards and everybody had on these funky little glasses and things of that nature, I realized that, oh, I'm going to keep up with this tradition. And fair to say that I dealt with the level of transformation since then. So we're going to open up the energy and open up our thought waves and our brain waves to understand that this is another time where these particular gateways are opening. However, are you going to participate? So once again, I was thinking about this concept, and I promise you that it just simply occurred to me. And I tried to find a reference for it and I couldn't find a reference. So dare I say that I'm creating a term in the spiritual lexicon. And if somebody else said this before, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't hear anybody. So what we're going to be discussing today is divine aesthetics. Divine meaning of, from, or like God, or a god, or goddess. In the informal, we're just talking about our excellent or delightful abilities. To be divine is a trait. It is actually your birthright, to which if you select it or choose it. Meaning that if you were to renounce yourself as divine or pronounce yourself as divine or literally call yourself divine, to which who am I to tell you that you are not divine? To which being divine is a selection, being divine is a choice. However, with that choice, with that responsibility, comes a particular upkeep, i.e. aesthetic. Now, I've been saying this word as if I was referencing getting my nails done or getting my toes done. I've just loved saying this word over the past couple of weeks for some reason, and I finally today looked up the definition because I generally trust my intuition when I'm speaking, and generally I've gotten to the point that I don't question whether I'm right or wrong in referencing what I'm saying, because I get exhausted with checking things over and referencing my intuition and always having that right thing. So and sharing collective consciousness realities. You know everything. It is just your choice to say whether you do or don't. Right? Whether you do or don't. So are you choosing and selecting the fact of you being divine? To which, what is the upkeep? What is the aesthetics as we reference a solar eclipse in the third decan of Taurus? Now, if you heard the last week episode where we referenced the Mercury retrograde in the third decan of Taurus, guess what we're going to be talking about today? Now, last week we were talking about Oshun and Obatala, but this week we will be referencing Oshun and Oshun. Daddy is gone, long gone. So in reference to understanding Oshun, we can also understand the energy of Chandra. We can understand the energy of the moon, and we can understand the energy of the divine feminine, to which we all have access. And I would even dare to say that it is your birthright to establish a divine presence, but it is not through happenstance, it's not through wishing, it's not through dealing with particular readers and things of that nature, although these things can help. Once you figure out what it is to which you have figured out, now the next part is your aesthetics, your set of principles concerned with the nature and appreciation of beauty, especially in art and the branch of philosophy that deals with the principles of beauty and artistic taste. In all of these, it reduces down to a standard or a process of upkeep, to which it is, dare I say, your birthright, to which you could complain about your external world, but that would be the modality of you utilizing your tools and not realizing that you are not the tools that you use, utilizing the fact that you are not the senses for which you experience. Now, drink something on that, process that for a second. To which, if your tools are performing a particular act or function, they are not you per se. You are just simply utilizing, meaning that you're utilizing your senses. So what you're experiencing within your senses, and the funny thing is 10 times out of 11 times, not even 10 times out of 10, we're talking about 150 cent probability that everything that you've experienced, whether it be in the eardrums or in the eyelids, has been pre-programmed and given to you to keep you into a particular function or face where you're utilizing your tools and never fully realizing that that is you that is utilizing your senses and that you're not the senses. But the only way that you can fully separate between you and your senses is through aesthetics. Because how can you recognize yourself if you do not take care of yourself? To which, what if you use your senses and your tools for yourself? That then becomes the process of working into the solar eclipse, so you don't have to worry about what it is I particularly might or might not manifest, to which I'm not worried about what I manifest. I'm just particularly concerned with my practical upkeep of my soul, body, mind, emotions, so forth and so on. So divine aesthetics, get used to it. We're introducing new words into the lexicon every week. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Hood in the Morning. And although it's not the morning, it is the morning somewhere in some place, some form or fashion throughout the world. So let's talk about the astrology of it all, and then we get into a deeper deacon astrology of it all. And all of this is just a setup to let you know that I'm not getting too deep in it. So let's just tap into the overview. Yes, we are not here for a long time, but a good time. Please, as you enter the building, just drop a quick little like on your boy. You ever went to grade school and things of that nature and seen the cute little girl and you said, I like you, right? That was easy for you to do. Well, like this video just like you would do the cute little girl in grade school. Okay, so today we're going to be referencing the energy of the third decan of Taurus, the Marigadisha. Ooh, that was horrible, man. I'm not going to be able to pronounce this nakshatra today, family. I'm not even going to pronounce it. So we're going to talk about the deity that rules over it, which is an easier way to pronounce it, plus is more profound to tap into the energy of Chandra aka Soma, right? And of course, we're tapping into the energy of Oshun, and we're tapping into our divine feminine aesthetics, to which we all have an ability to stand in our divine feminine glory, to which you could suppress it or you could tap into it. Once again, we're dealing with the third decan of Taurus, to which the solar eclipse will be taking place. And we are referencing sidereal astrology. So this is where our conversation and concepts come from. This resonates with me. Western astrology does not resonate with me, so I wouldn't propagate a channel for views or a whole bunch of people that like me but not speak in a way to which I'm talking and it resonates with me. So I'm just here to kick truth, I'm just here to kick light, and I'm here to honor and bring light to the divine feminine within myself, and as well the divine feminine within everybody who is listening. So if you suppress or do not tap into your divine feminine energy, please don't be mad at me, my wife, or my family, or anybody that love me because they tapped into their divine feminine energy. What I'm saying is that it's a choice, but it's a requirement that you deal with your personal aesthetics. And I'm not going to deal with the astrology so much as I'm going to deal directly with the solar eclipse. The reason that is because a solar eclipse is such a powerful time that why would I be worried about everything external when I'm going through a complete transformation, right? If I'm going through a complete transformation in the house, I don't care if it's raining or snowing or sleeting. If I'm in the house and I'm changing my clothes, I'm just changing. I'm doing a whole switch around, rich around. I don't care what's going on. Oshun says, shut up, don't worry about nothing else, worry about yourself, but not in a selfish way, or maybe in a selfish way. Shit, if you haven't been selfish, maybe you need to be selfish, right? Because you should take no prisoners when it comes to you. So let's talk about how I got to this Oshun energy, so I don't think I'm just making things up. So as we can see, I'm just referencing the sidereal chart. This is actually in the energy conjunct the beta star of Taurus called El Nath, and El Nath is known as the bull horns, okay? And so we're getting rid of all, not getting rid of, excuse me, but we're moving forward out of all of this Taurus energy into the Gemini energy. So if we know anything about the Gemini energy, it could be somewhat of a torment, somewhat of a minefield, because we don't deal with the things that we really need to deal with in reference to our aesthetics. And don't blame yourself, don't beat yourself up, because if nobody ever told you that you were specifically not your senses, meaning that the things that you taste aren't you're tasting them, is not you, like you're experiencing the senses that you the senses that you have, and you also process these senses, meaning that it's not universal, meaning that if everybody like cake, then that means that everybody would just buy the same exact cake. But the reality of a soul is that it makes decisions, it makes selections. So the soul might decide that it doesn't want to eat cake. Now to another soul, it could be like, how in the hell do you not want this cake? To which we are not our senses, because cake is good. But if you do certain particular knowledge on particular ingredients and particular long-term effects of sugar and things of that nature, you might decide, hey, I know cake is good, but it's not going to benefit me long-term. So when we process information, it's not reliant upon our senses, because the more information that we might research on a said topic, we might feel completely different about it. So when you have a particular intention in reference to this energy, you may develop and grow to something else to say, I wanted $10 when I made $10,000. Or I wanted a man like this, and now I'm not even the same person that I was. Like a case in point is like the type of person that you wanted before you became spiritually aware to now, like doing this work and doing readings and things of this nature. If I had nickels for every time I heard somebody say, well, at the beginning it was cool, But as I grew in my spirituality, the relationship became harder and harder to exist in, because as I'm changing and my partner is not changing, the tension is now growing, to which I thought that I wanted this person and wanted to be with this person forever until I changed. And now I'm thinking differently about it. And I would say, you should have knew that you were going to change, and you should have knew that you were going to feel differently about that person in relation to you changing. But sometimes when you don't know that you're going to change, you might want for things. But I'm saying, how could you particularly want for something if you don't have a way of self-care? So we're referencing the third decan, which is ruled by the Seven of Dis. And I've been called to move from the Thoth deck to the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck. And I've been really rocking out with that deck in relation to the way that I do my astrology. So real quick, I do sidereal astrology and I break it up into decans, and then I assign the decans to tarot cards. And now these tarot cards are a set system. I don't change them. I don't move them around. And so whatever the energies fall in, that's my level of divination. Each decan has a tarot card associated with it. So I'm not going to pull cards that don't have to do with the actual reading. So this particular reading, as I stated before, I'm not utilizing planetary progressions or planetary transits or anything of that nature. I'm only paying attention to one astrological event, and that is the sun conjunct the moon in the third decan of Taurus. And if we look at this other screen that I have here, I'm gonna blow it up just in case you're on your Obama phone. The Seven of Dick. Oh my God. Somebody was like, that's a good idea. I'm gonna make a nasty tarot deck with the Seven of Dicks and the Six of the Six of Yoni. But I digress. The Seven of Pentacles, or the Seven of Dis, falls in the Taurus energy. It is the last decan of Taurus. And enough nerdy stuff as we tap in. Ooh, cut off mystic math as soon as it started, didn't I? Hopefully I did. Hopefully I cut it off as soon as it started. Maybe I didn't. Oh yes, I did. Sometimes you gotta put it on blast, because you know, I used to have an Obama phone myself. And so as we referenced, the sun in conjunct the energy of Nath, that is the star called the Taurus bull's horns. We have the resonance of Mercury, and we're all up in this Milky Way goodness of energy, right? And so we're talking about an opportunity to manifest a level up process. But the only thing that is stopping from anybody is to actually tap in the cosmology and the energy and relate it to their own personal reality. Meaning that the sun and the moon is conjunct in Taurus in the energy of Taurus. In the energy of Taurus. I did mean what I meant. Mercury is retrograde, so this communication is going to be slightly off, but we're here today for it. So what I'm basically saying is that it's very important to tune in to what Taurus means to you in real life. In reference to an earth sign, in reference to tangible earth that's all around you, but there are sacred places, there are geomantic energies, there are city halls, there are downtowns, there are stadiums, there are all types of energies and portals in relation to earth. And the reality is that you can walk towards them, or you can be completely intuitive, or you can completely make some shit up. That's another level of the game. But the idea is aesthetics, principles, rules, and sets. If you say this field is a magical field to which you're going to tap into your energy, then you have to keep it up. You have to make it magical if you're just going to make shit up. Or generally, I guess the secret would be everybody making shit up at this particular point now, isn't it? What I'm saying is that it's very important, if you're by mounds, to go to mounds for the solar eclipse. But at a different note, it's very important to tap into this Oshun energy and understand what it is saying. So let's get into the mythology and the understanding of Oshun. And let's make it extremely practical so we can understand it in real terms, so then we can move forward in making sure that every relationship is the best relationship based upon our personal divine aesthetics. Now, if I said, do you want to be in a relationship with the most prettiest girl in the world? Your probably answer would be, yes, I do, Hood Mystic. I want to be with the prettiest girl ever. And I would say, here she goes. Her name is Oshun. But being with the prettiest girl in the world is not a security, nor is it a guarantee, and everybody else is going to want her. To which you got to actually compete for her. She's going to actually probably judge you to the point that she probably going to realize that she can do better than you. And 10 times out of 10, matter of fact, let's be right and exact about this. 10 times out of 11, she going to find somebody else. And this is going to happen to you. But you're going to go for that anyways. And you know it ain't going to work out. However, this is Oshun energy. We think we want something that we can't even have, but yet we still want it. But what is the lesson in this? What is the understanding of Oshun? Oshun says it's not my fault how a person feels about me, because the most important thing about my story is how I feel about myself. To which, if you look at this card, you think that she's pretty, you imagine that she's pretty, although her beauty is veiled. Meaning that you know that she's amazing and beautiful, it's just the fact that you don't see it. Because ultimately, she's the ultimate mirror, because what you're seeing in her has to be something that you need to find within yourself. Because she didn't necessarily take care of herself for you more than she took care of herself for her. So when you go into the solar eclipse energy and you say, I wanted this and I wanted that, are you sure you wanted this or that? Or do you just want to tap into a particular frequency and a vibration that would equate to pleasure? And if the vibration and frequency is equation to pleasure, then that vibration and frequency would be something that you would need to take care of for yourself. Because your senses have a way of shutting down, and you have a way of building up a different level of senses that we call ecstasy. But since nobody wants to talk about it, we placate ecstasy for stats and making sure the checkbook is balanced. Making sure that everybody has the money together. But see, if you do not, but all of these things, if you see a person who is trying to show you a particular image and wants you to really believe in their image, they'll say stuff like, I got a whole bunch of YouTube subscribers, or I'm the world-renowned teacher. I done taught this place, I done been this place, I done been that place. But you ain't feeling it. You don't understand why they feeling the way that they feeling, because they can't do their yellow magic on you. They can't do their ego magic on you. Because ultimately, your intuition is always working. The only problem is you don't know how to trust it, because you trust in everybody else's judgment when it comes to the only thing that you really righteously and exactly should have been paying attention to is yourself and your overall development and your overall mastery, so people can learn from you. And the trick is that you were going to teach them and elevate them, except beyond exploiting them or just kind of collecting your own coins and living in your ivory tower, which everybody has shown you. But you got to move outside of your senses. You got to establish a level of bliss and ecstatic and a level of ecstasy. But all of this is in how you treat yourself. Meaning that the dream guy won't have a problem having sex with you because you love yourself. The dream girl, instead of you going after her, she's going to come after you. She's going to want to give you the panties. And you're like, wait a second. I was sweating you all of this time, and now you just want me. What's the trick that I'm trying to lay out? What is the level that I'm trying to lay out in reference to the solar eclipse energy? Is not about what you do, it's about who you are, but you have to understand who you are. Say it with me, class. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and we sometimes, always, 10 times out of 9, 9 times out of 10, forget it. So in reference to the Miragadishagara, bad pronunciation, Nakshatra, we're tuning into a Hindu explanation of this to bring up the many correlations and correspondences so we can come into the understanding that everything is the same. When you reference unfavorable energies to tap into during this time, things such as marriage, such as aggressive action, such as confrontation, combat, prenuptial ceremonies, and long-term decisions, you're referencing actually imagining that the future is going to be a certain type of way, when in reality is you don't know. But there always comes a time of pleasure and love and sensuality in doing things that honor your vibe, your frequency, your truth. And these things are not socially accepted. So most Tauruses live in the realm of taboo. This is why they're like cherished in most people's hearts and minds, because they always given an experience that's outside the norm. But at the same time, you might wonder, like, why is that so invigorating? Why is that so intoxicating? Because it's a part of life. Also, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So once again, this is another aspect of Oshun. So when you're actually trying to figure out how to level up, how to be successful, and you're doing everything external, you're reading the books, which is fine. Read the books, right? Take the classes, go to school, do everything that you feel like you need to do to be an expert in your field. But if you want to make it easy, look good, feel good. See, sometimes I say look good and feel good, and you imagine that it's a surface thing, to which we're talking about the internal energies of Scorpio, because you can't reference Taurus without understanding the energy of Scorpio, which is the energy of the womb, where the nations of all of our tribes and all of our peoples have came through the portals of the womb. Now, to come to the portal of the womb is a sexual action. And it's so much easier to get sexual activity when you look good versus when you don't look good. I did not make the rules. I wasn't the one who said, why can't people with dust attract girls? I didn't make the rules. But I say it's very easy when you're tuned in and tapped in. And one would say, well, I don't care about looking good. Well, one is also talking about ancestral energy. So it's not even about pleasure at a certain point, then it is about cultivation and understanding the multiple life forms that you're here to take care of and cultivate that while you're down here. Because none of us are a vacuum, and all of us live off the shoulders of other people's ingenuity and all of their works. But the overall inspiration of works, talent, technology, protection, security, railways, you name it, infrastructure, civil engineering, is the divine feminine to provide a wonderful, luxurious place for my wife. This is why a man will wake up in the morning and think, I gotta get some goddamn coins about myself. You think that he worried about coins specifically? No, generally dudes is lazy bums. We don't care about nothing, right? Except when we get influenced by the divine feminine, and it makes us want to become a better man. So one says that the life is very easy to live if you pay attention to your aesthetics. Then your magnetism is on point, your attraction is on point, your money is on point, your livelihood is on point, your emotions are on point, your friends are on point, everything is on point. Because you care about the principles for which you live in, and you're not going to break them. But if you don't create them, if you don't build them, then you would never even know that they exist. So once again, the ruling deity of this nakshatra is Chandra. And Chandra is the goddess of the moon. The moon produces a particular energy or nectar that is called Soma. Soma is known to be the nectar of the gods. Now this connects to Oshun because it is said that Oshun produces honey. Now these are all specific astrological events and opportunities for enlightenment. Now you can read all of the books in the world, you can break down, and what you will get is stuff to this degree. Let's talk about it. Soma is one of the most common other names used for the deity, Chandra. That's what we're referencing. But the earliest use of the word referred to the moon is a subject of scholarly debate. Okay? That means that everything that you read subsequently is going to be a lie, because if I say one thing, I can also say another thing. So I'm here to specifically give you advice and energy and ways to just simply tap in, connect to the earth during the solar eclipse. Find the exact time in your time zone. Don't ask me what time do it happen. Look it up on Google. Find the exact time and make sure you don't have no shoes on and you're standing on earth and you're tapped in and you don't have no expectations but to observe and absorb the energy. This is the nectar. This is the Soma. This is the honey of Oshun. This is the opportunity. This is the time for transformation. This is how you turn into your proverbial butterfly. The word Soma is primarily used as an intoxicating plant drink and the deity representing it, which is Chandra. In many different forms, in many different places, in many different ways, but the overall understanding is that there's a particular energy that bestows immortality. And my thing is, I wish I could be so as clear in my mind. It's just that we don't care about this type of stuff. We don't care about observing celestial events and connecting the energies to the elements of the sidereal placement. Meaning that if it's happening in sidereal earth sign, that means that I should physically connect to an actual earth sign, to which if it was in an air sign, that means I would do something in the reference of air or the elements of mental magic. If it was in a water sign, I would do water magic. If it was in a fire sign, I would do fire magic. We're just taking elemental energies and understandings and combining them as we opening up gateways. And the more people that we could get to tune in and tap into these particular grids, the better. Because what all it is required is that you bring is your intuition and the overall observation of connection, of synchronicity, of bringing energies together at a specific time in a place, in multiple places all over the universe. To which we don't need a particular understanding because we got the energies of Kubera there, the energies of Yama, meaning the energies of wealth and the energies of pleasure. Now, what you do with your wealth and what you do with your pleasure, you know, is perfectly fine. Right? If you go buy a Lamborghini and get your salad tossed, I'm not going to be mad at you, fam. I'm going to say, do you need me to get you some hot fudge from the store? Because I'm about to go to goddamn Trader Joe's because I just always wanted to go to Trader Joe's, but I wasn't never balling enough to just, you know, I mean, I'd be going to Trader Joe's, but I'd be skimping and scraping. Right? But one day I just wanted to just ball super hard and walk up into Trader Joe's and say I'm buying the whole store. Y'all gonna need to get the goddamn old forklift because I'm taking it out. So what I'm referencing is like, don't worry your little hearts on referencing your financial situation or your love situation. Just know the best you is coming to the damn party. because that's the only thing that you would necessarily need to worry about in reference to the particular decan, which is ruled by Venus in the sign ruled by Venus. If the decan is ruled by Venus, Saturn, and so the decan is ruled by Saturn, and the overall energy is ruled by Venus. So this is an actual strictness on aesthetic. This is why Taurus energy is so shitty unless you're a Taurus. Think about it. Everybody having fun at the party. I mean, nobody having fun at the party but the Tauruses. The Tauruses is breaking your hearts. The Tauruses is taking your money, just doing everything, right? They in the vibe, they in the moment, they feeling themselves. Hey Siri, play Beyonce Feeling My... Oh, she really about to play it too. I'm sorry, Siri. We play it later. Feeling myself, feeling myself. So instead of being mad at Beyonce for feeling herself, how about you begin to feel yourself and tap into the intoxicating energy that you permit once you actually tune in and tap into your higher self. So, as I said, not here for a long time, definitely here for a good time. Let me make sure that Mystic Math ain't playing. I thank y'all for braving the elements with me. I really wanted to tap in and tune in to this particular message because it's extremely simple, right? It's not long and drawn out, and trust me, if it's something more important than you and making sure that you feel good about yourself, please leave a comment in the description or something to that effect, because I'm confused about this in reference to this Mercury retrograde and these inner reflections that I have. It's the things that you want and you're suppressing them. That is the problem. So when I say 1 + 1 = 3, you need to get with somebody that understands you and wants to build and contribute to what you contributing to, the same way as you want to contribute to them, so y'all can make something more, make something better. 1 + 1 = 3, and we're all here for this manifestation. This is the Hood Mystic, and you are now tapped into Mystic Math. I want to say a couple of things. Thanks y'all for watching. Chakra Nova is available if you don't have it. Good morning, Grand Rising. It is the Hood Mystic. You're listening to the morning shift on CHUO 89.1 FM, your source for hip hop and R&B in the morning. Today is Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. You are just listening to Omarion featuring Wale with Mutual. You know what time it is. It is time for Mystic Math. And for those who don't know, Mystic Math is where we talk about the collective energy reading according to the phases of the moon. Now, as I like to always say, let's tap in. This is a new moon week, but this new moon is quite different. This new moon is a solar eclipse, which is like a regular new moon. It's just 10 times more powerful. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I personally feel that the easiest way to understand the solar eclipse is to understand a new moon, simply because you never get a solar eclipse without a new moon, the same way as you never get a lunar eclipse without a full moon. But what is a new moon? You're new to the channel, or you might be new to a job, but you're like not a new person. You can get a new used car, you can get a new house, even though somebody else lived in it not too long ago. Although things aren't specifically new to the world, they may be specifically new to us. So we use new moons to integrate and magnetize new experience in our lives that we think may be valuable to us at this present time. So since this solar eclipse is just a powerful new moon, think about what new experiences are you attempting to integrate into your reality long term. And also remember that a solar eclipse and new moon is just when your sun expression combines with your moon deep emotion. And what you have is a long-term goal that you can begin effectively working. And see, I'm pretty sure I was. Mm. And y'all, please tell me. Y'all need to really tell me how Mystic Math got in here for real, cause I swear to y'all, I never attributed, assigned it to nothing on here. How did it just weasel its way in here? So I guess we're going to tune in and tap in. We're going to tune in and tap into Mystic Math tomorrow. Y'all got the sneak preview. But what I was saying is go to columbianexchange.com, sign up for our email list. We're giving deals out every week, exclusive deals that only are accessed by joining the email list, and it's the best way to keep in contact with people. So take 15 seconds out of your day, visit visit columbianexchange.com, sign up for our email list, and be sure to get your copy of Chakra Nova in stores now. What else is going on? Shadow Work course happening June 26th. Sign up for that. You know, I'm tapping out as far as like doing readings. Tomorrow's my last day doing readings. Not last day doing readings, but especially for the month of June. Well, from now until the 26th, really about to finish curating and twerking on the course, and then from there, yes, make sure the course is finished. Make sure the course is good. Mainly because the topic is so intense. Is that I just got to make sure that it's right for y'all. Basically, that's the only way that I can describe it. Just people be like, don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about it that much. But I'm just like very serious about this topic, and the main thing that I want to do with this course is not scare you into shadow work. I don't want it to be dark. I want it to be a mode of light, a mode of healing. And I'll also be uploading my darkness video that I did on Instagram a little later tonight. So if you want to talk to me later, I will be back on YouTube to reference this darkness energy and more shadow work. But you know me, still coming with the shadow work, still coming with the videos. Thank y'all for tapping in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this video with your folk. Minus the Mystic Math.